Stormgate, the most hyped up RTS game of the last decade, has left early access and officially launched. Despite people speculating that they only did this out of necessity for financial reasons, Frost Giant Studios themselves have said that 1v1 and campaign are both officially ready for launch. Today I'm going to be judging their 1v1 mode to see if Stormgate has really managed to turn it around from the honestly horrible reception they had going into early access last year. I'll be playing one game of each faction and just be brutally honest about everything that I don't like, as well as of course everything that I do like. Let's begin. Alright, the first game is Vanguard against Vanguard. Now I do remember the complaints that I used to have before. I think my mindset for today is that I want to go into it with pretty much a neutral mindset, right? Because it's very easy to remember, okay, the sound used to be terrible and this used to be terrible. So the moment the sound is a little off, you're like, yeah, it's horrible, you know? I want to go in with a neutral mindset. I already played 6 games, 2 of each faction last night, just to make sure I remember how it worked. And they have definitely made progress for sure. Like, I think the game overall looks a little better. The sound is better. I'm gonna say that carefully because I think the sound is still not fantastic, but it used to be just absolutely terrible, really. Like, the sound really would put me off. I would have to manually change certain sliders just so it would be manageable. I think at some point I had to turn voices off because the announcer for... Oh, this was a barracks instead of a depot. Because of the announcer being so obnoxious for Infernals, I remember it quite clearly. Now let me update you guys on something important that they did. So this game used to have creep camps. Now they don't have creep camps anymore. Now they have Stormgate. So basically what it is, it's like an objective that I want to say pops up every 3 minutes or so. It could be 5 as well. I'm not quite sure. You fight for it. If you win, you get some kind of reward from it, basically. One criticism that I didn't have right away... Ooh, I stopped building this. Actually, that's one thing that I don't like that much. In StarCraft, if you click the worker away, you automatically shift-click it back to the minerals, but here it just stops building it, so... I'm not even sure if it's a bad thing, just as a StarCraft player, for me, it's a bit of a pet peeve, I guess. But on the minimap, I mean, you guys tell me where the Stormgates are. If you look at it, you can see it on the minimap, but it doesn't really pop out, right? Like, it's these circles you see on the minimap right here. Those are the locations for the Stormgates. But it actually took me, I want to say, a game or 3 before realizing that that's what those were. So those could pop out a little bit more. In general, I don't think the minimap is fantastic, to be honest. This is pretty consistent in RTS games, I want to say. Like, a lot of times the minimap kind of feels like a bit of an afterthought or something. Like, you know, it doesn't really pop out. The colors are a bit hard to see. In Stormgate also, it seems a bit... I don't even, you know, it's not even about the size. Like, I want to say small, but I think it just doesn't pop out enough. Like, the important stuff doesn't pop out enough for me. It kind of blends in with the colors a little bit, the Stormgates as well. Now, I do like the colors and stuff. They changed it a little bit. I think this is not the standard Fog of War. It's a skin that I have. This guy has an expansion, but he has very much the same amount of units as me, so that probably means that my... Oh wait, my expansion is already finished. Never mind. They just build very fast. Oh, dude, I noticed one thing about playing Lancers. These guys are called Lancers. They don't really take that much damage from other Lancers, so you can kind of just walk into their base and start killing their workers, which feels a little weird. I'm gonna start mining Therium now. There you go, so I can make higher tech units. This guy is going up to 4 barracks right away. Ah, you also have a little bit of mineral walking in this game. That's how he walked through my Lancers there. That one is going to die. He's making a little bit of a mistake here, I think. Which is... Oh, that's the sound of the Stormgate coming online. Which is that you kind of want to be building these with more workers. And I think you can only do that with Vanguard, actually. The faction I'm playing right now. Where you can build a building with as many workers as you want, basically. I'm gonna get my first tech building up here. Here we go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you guys one thing. I remember instantly. I just, my brain felt like there was something I wanted to criticize, but I didn't quite know what it was. It's that the health on this thing is a bit misleading. You guys can see it's losing health right now, right? You see the bar over there? Yeah, it's actually not losing health. It's the time is running down on it. Once you see it, the micro here is pretty smooth, by the way. I just want to say that. So that's pretty nice thing as well. The health are these little colored thingies around the bar. Okay, that's where you see how much damage you've done, which side it's going to. But the first time I thought that was the health or something, so I got very, very confused about it. The reason why he's fighting me, by the way, even though he was losing this fight for a while, is because he doesn't want me to get the Stormgate for free. As you can see, the timer is running out. So, since I have a couple more units than him, or at least I did. Right now I still do, but they're 1 HP. Actually, this game is healing zones, I think. Yeah, it does have healing zones. Now I have to fight him. I'm trying to micro back my weakened Lancers, but they're all weak at this point. Makes it a little difficult. I do like this micro dance around the Stormgate, though. Like, this creates a little bit of activity. He's trying to right-click it now, so I'm gonna attack it back. So he doesn't get the effect of the Stormgate, because they can be quite significant. Now I got my range units out here, which is gonna make this fight a little nicer. Let's see how well the micro is going to be here. Yeah, the units do move a little smoother. I think they've improved the turn rates and stuff from the last time I played, so that is nice. It does look... Okay, the animation on this is a little funky. I noticed that before. If you move them from side to side, it's like they just... There's no animation anymore. They just slide, you know? My opponent probably thought I was dancing on him. That was not intentional at all. But alright, so far so good. I think it was an even trade there. He's making mass Lancers, and I kind of tend to think that the people I play against, they probably have a better understanding of the meta than me, because yeah, I just haven't played this a whole lot, really. I usually log on like once every 3 months to play one game or something like that. I think there's a lot of players here that did play all this time. Oh, these exos are strong. Wow. Not bad. Okay. Oh yeah, dude. One of the best changes they've made that I freaking love. I want to tell you guys. I'm not quite sure if you noticed, because you probably forgot about that part already. Dude, these things are so strong. What? Huh. Okay, this is really crazy as a StarCraft player, because these are the Marines, but they're like slightly higher tech. So I'm not used to these things being so incredibly strong, right? Like, they basically feel like they're 3 Marines in one, but that's crazy. But what I was about to say, one thing that I really enjoyed is that they removed the top bar. Like, the console, even by default, the console's pretty big, by the way. I'm playing on 85% console size. It's nice that you can change that. But there used to be a really big console, and then on the top as well, and it felt like you were playing... Like, the game was the mini-map and the console was the game or something, because it was so massive. Now it feels like there's a lot more space. As you can see, the game is quite active. Yeah, I mean, that was the Vanguard game. Wasn't too special. We kind of killed him early because he didn't make the right units, I guess. Let's go to the Infernals. Okay, the second game is Infernal against Infernal. Now, I'm quite excited to show the Infernals to you guys, just because, in my opinion, this is the faction they have improved on the most, at least visually. Like, Infernals is supposed to be the faction with these big scary demons, but before it didn't look very menacing at all. Right now it looks a lot cooler. They have a more, well, how would I call it? A more ancient, a more just cool design. Like, they have all these glyphs and these signs on the buildings and stuff. I just think it looks very, very nice, especially compared to before. So this is basically... Yeah, if you want to compare it to StarCraft 2, it's the Zergi faction. It doesn't really play like that, but it has Shroud. It tends to produce the most units, I think, as well. I'm just going to go for an expansion first. Last game I played a more pressure build. Now I'm going to expand faster. There's actually something I was thinking about before. Some people might say that, for example, the Vanguard is very similar to Terran, and this is very similar to Zerg, blah, blah. You even lose the worker when you build buildings. I noticed when I was playing some other RTS games, like I was playing Immortal Gates of Pyre a while ago. Let's see, let's get the Iron Vault here. That's like a barracks, basically. That it's very important that the cost of buildings and the way you make them for factions is different. So when I played Immortal Gates of Pyre, once again, a long time ago, maybe 2 years ago or so, they basically had the same cost for the buildings for all the factions, which meant that to figure out a build, I felt like you were doing the exact same thing for every single faction. Like, you would, you know, mine your gas in the same way, like 1 or 2 on gas, in this case therium, because you need to make the building at that time. So it's important that the things cost a little different. It really helps in just feeling like you're playing... wait, is this... Oh, that's the depot. Overlord, whatever you want to call it. Just feeling like you're playing a different faction. So even the fact that they just do this, where the buildings are cheaper, but you sacrifice the imp or the drone, I think it's very nice just for that. Now, this faction, I'm pretty sure, is considered to be the strongest as well. So if you're gonna play this game, I would recommend... Oh, is this... How fast is that? Huh. I guess that's normal to play like this because... I mean, you can make those very fast. That thing is really strong, by the way. Is that just scouting thingy? I guess he is scouting. For a second, I thought he proxied, but then I realized, I guess you're not always supposed to expand first, or it's not a must. I do think I need a little bit of therium here. So let me start grabbing that right now. I do think there are some ways to spread the shroud. That's what the creep-like substance is called. There's like an effigy. I guess I'll just put it right there. Okay, I don't know if that matters that much. What does that do? It doesn't make me faster. Before, your units would have shields. I remember that quite clearly, but now... Wait, is that gonna go away? What is this countdown thingy? Or is it spawning something? I wonder what that's trying to tell me. I'm not quite sure, actually. Oh, it is actually temporary. Okay. Huh. So there must be some kind of abilities that you can only cast on Shroud or something, because otherwise I have no idea why that would exist, to be honest. I think that makes sense, right? There must be something you can do on Shroud that I'm not aware of, because otherwise I really have no idea why that exists. But there's no shields anymore, so I really wonder what it does. I wouldn't be able to tell you from first glance. Can you build off Shroud? It looks like you can, actually. Yeah, you can build... Okay, then I actually don't know. I guess we'll find out at some point. I do know that there's towers. Maybe the towers you can only build... Oh, you can also build them everywhere. Let's see if that actually works, or if that's like a visual bug or something. It must work, right? Huh. Interesting. Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll find out at some point. I'm not quite sure. One thing I didn't show in the last game is that you can upgrade your main bases. I think that's the same with every faction. And that's basically the way you go up in tier. Now, my opponent did go for a faster set of units than me. But that probably means that I was able to catch up. This looks completely even, right? I have a couple more guns, actually. Those are the ranged guys. Okay, I think the way I want to micro this is target those in the back, because those are going to be lower HP. Let me try. Yeah, this looks very, very nice for me, right? He's just busy targeting my brutes, which are the tanky melee guys. I targeted his range dudes, and then I'm backing off. He does have one more brute than me. What I know from RTS games is usually, if you save the range... What did I just do? I think I just... Either it died or I just split my own unit by accident. Okay. I mean, interesting. Guess I'm just going to be shooting this thing from a distance. What I wanted to say is usually you want to save the ranged units because those tend to snowball a little more. So that's the way I'm playing this. I'm not quite 100% sure if it works like that here, but I think it makes sense. Let me try to pull these guys back as well. So far, the trades are pretty decent. I'm going to try to go for his ranged guys again. Yeah, you see, those are dying so fast. I also made a Magbodon, which is like an Ultralist thingy. Here we go. Yeah, this fight looks awesome for me. This one can trample, by the way, which basically pushes them aside. Can I still win this thing? Like, I think we're going to kill it before the timer runs out, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, as you can see, I teched up a little more with this faction than with Vanguard. I feel like that works out. Stormgate has been successfully captured. This looks a little weird to me, by the way. I wanted to say this, like... You have to guess or take your reward, but the icons kind of look the same, and then you have to, like, zoom in with your eyes and read what it says. I feel like that definitely could have been done a little bit better. I mean, if there's, like, a big icon of a scary monster, and then, like, an icon of... Because another thing you can do is you can copy units you already have with one of those things. There should be an easier icon to put there instead of these things that really look the same to my untrained eye. Okay, this guy's playing defensive. I don't think... Oh, wait, I'm going to show you guys something cool I know you can do on this map. This was the first map, I think. Or at least the first map I remember playing when I played Stormgate. There are trees in the back of your natural. And if you get this big guy, you can actually use the abilities to go through them. So it's like a little bit of counterplay to someone who's playing like horribly defensive. Check this out. Yeah, look. That's awesome. I do think you can do this a little bit too fast. Like, I feel like... Once again, just for my general RTS experience, something that can modify your defensive position like that probably shouldn't come on like that early, I want to say. Once again, I'm going to try to focus those low HP range guys here. These things spawn little units, by the way, by killing... I think you need an upgrade for that, but they do spawn little guys, and I don't want them to spawn little guys on me. Let's see, my gas count is getting a little low. Therium, once again, whatever you want to call it. To me, it's really all the same, if you call it gas or therium or you know, green stuff. Like, whatever you want to call it's fine with me. What does this guy even do? I think this is the guy that slows, right? I'm pretty sure it's the guy that slows. I don't think I can see it. You can also make it faster. Oh, that's pretty important, actually. I should have known that. But okay, that is the Infernal game. The games do seem to go very, very fast with the Stormgates. Though, to be fair, it might be a bit of a skill difference because it doesn't feel like me getting this reward is what making me win. It's just that I'm out trading them with the units I have, and then I go on to win the game, right? So it could be a bit of a skill gap. It does make me wonder if the games are not like forced to be too aggressive. Right now I'm still enjoying it. It might get a bit annoying if every single game ends in 6 minutes. But yeah, that was Infernals. This was the faction I'm the most impressed with so far. Visually, I think it looks quite nice. Looks very demonic. Like, not over the top, but everything's a little on fire. Looks pretty cool. Still have no idea what the Shroud does. Probably should have looked that up beforehand or something, but the fact that I don't know that after playing 3 games probably says a decent amount as well. And now we're gonna play the third faction, the Celestials, which has been my least favorite faction in RTS existence, I think. They did start reworking it, so let's see. Okay, game number 3 is with the Celestials against the Infernals. Now, if you guys did not see Celestials for the past year or so, let me tell you guys why it was my least favorite RTS faction ever. Just imagine everything that people have complained about Protoss for the last 15 years, or last 25 years even, because I know Brood War players also complain, and then put into one faction, and then it's on crack. That's basically what Celestials has been. Like, they would cannon rush, shield, batter, like, that was just the entire faction. They would just build stuff in your face, and then somehow you had to deal with it, and that was pretty much it. I think this is the first patch where they actually went for a rework, so now it works more like a normal faction. As you can see, this thing, it does not really have the good animations to be a worker yet, to be honest. I think it can even attack, and it doesn't look like it can. I'm gonna forgive them on that one just because I know that they really just started reworking it. Honestly, they should have started reworking it sooner, but at least they're going for it now. I'm not gonna lie, something a little funny. I had I want to say a 4-month stint where I would log into their Discord once a month just to ask them to delete Celestials, because I'm not kidding. I really think this faction is just, it's something else. Okay, so the way it works, it's a bit of a PhD faction, to be honest. Before, you would make flying units that would fly to the patches and then build mines there. Now it seems like what you do is you fly your main base next to it, and then it builds by default. I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy they're changing stuff, but it still doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I mean, the Shroud was a little unintuitive. Vanguard felt pretty intuitive. This faction still does not feel intuitive at all. You have the power bar that's over here. You guys see it like right above this menu over here, where you can tell that you need to make more power, but at the same time, it also doesn't really say what it does. So it's like, you know, does my stuff build slower? I mean, I would imagine that's what it is. If that's not what it is, I would actually be a little disappointed. But okay, we're making Argents. That's basically their Marine, their starting unit. Not the unit I want to build forever. This unit also has an interesting mechanic where I'm pretty sure you can see the energy bar above its head is empty right now. You have to make a thingy, whatever this is called, a grace light node, and then you basically charge them up. Like right now they're very weak. You have to charge them up and then they become strong. Once again, these things can fight. They really don't look like they can fight, but they can. Yeah, what are these even? Fiends? Ah, okay. I legit didn't know what they were. They are, if you have the Brute from last game, you can split it in 2. I think that's what those are, right? I'm pretty sure. Okay, now I don't want to make Argents forever. I also, yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, guys, this is still by far my least favorite faction. It's like, you have to build stuff, so you select a worker to build it, but then it still builds without your worker having to walk there. So you just kind of, I guess you have to build from the building menu. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that is just a new RTS thing that I'm not used to. But you build it from the worker, but you have to, I don't know, it's a little weird to me, but it is what it is. Now you can see that my guys are charged up, so they're going to be significantly stronger. I'm going to make another arc ship, which is another main base. Oh, well, once again, I didn't have to walk there. And then I'm going to be able to make multiple Luminite mines by flying to the next one. I will say that I will remain curious what they're going to do with this faction, because it's obvious that they're trying to rework it entirely. This patch was already a lot different than anything I've seen before from them, so that's quite nice. I think we're going to try to move these power nodes further into the map. Oh, that's... Actually, I didn't even notice that it was up. Either I was too busy yapping, or the announcer for that is more quiet than for the other factions. Those are both possible, by the way. I'm not quite sure which one it is. I'm gonna fly my arc ships to the next bases. It seems like he's about to get that already, which I don't like. Yeah, oh, that's fast. Okay, I think, judging from what I've seen so far, I would say that they die a little bit too fast. Like, the early Stormgates, I feel like it shouldn't be dying to, like, 3 brutes and 2 fiends in, like, 10 seconds. Like, that seems a little much, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. Oh, yeah, I didn't even explain this one. You can... Wait, it even gets more PhD than I thought. You have multiple modes you can put it on. You can turn it into a defensive structure, and you can turn it into a thing that heals your units. I wish I could make this sound easier for you guys, or at least like more intuitive, but I don't think I'm gonna manage. I also found another thing that's slightly annoying there. I had one of those in the air and one on the ground, and I couldn't produce workers from the menu here. That would have been really nice to be able to do. Hopefully they're gonna add that at some point. Here we go. I'm still not used to building from the menu. It's definitely not gonna happen today, but at some point it will. Now, let's see. Okay, so he's defending with towers. He's playing... Wait. Oh, no, that's his thing. Okay, for a second I was like, wait, I'm slow on the Shroud? Is that what it is? But he has the... yeah, whatever that thing is called from the Stormgate that he won. Now, you see how I'm just managing to make a lot of bases? I'm not even really doing anything. I'm just flying my base to new bases, and then bases appear. I mean, to me, it's... I mean, it still doesn't feel intuitive, but it is what it is. Let's see. Oh, he doesn't actually have this base. Okay. I think from what I've seen, at least in my own games, that Celestials get the most bases by far. I had one game against Vanguard where I was literally taking his bases because there were just... You know, there were no more bases on my side of the map to take, basically. Power levels marginal. Do you think this... Oh, it actually doesn't even say anything. Okay, I thought I was stupid for a second, but oh, it doesn't actually say anything. Okay, let's see. Let's move a couple more out here. These are out of energy, so they can't be healing me. I want to know what kind of units he's making. Right now, I'm playing this like a Protoss versus Terran in StarCraft 2, where I'm just out-ecoing him and making small... Yeah, okay, those things look kind of badass, by the way. Those towers actually look pretty badass, not gonna lie. I think they already looked pretty cool before, to be honest. Maybe they should have made all the... They should have made Celestials look badass instead, but I guess they'll get to it at some point. Now, one thing that does feel a little weird is that I have 103 supply when my army feels like I have, you know, 20 Marines or something like that. Can I kill this somehow with Celestials? Probably. I'm just not sure how we would do it. Now, the next Stormgate I definitely want to contest. One thing that I do like, by the way, about the Stormgates is that it hasn't seemed entirely mandatory to contest the Stormgates. Like, it's also a legit pretty good strat to just... Oh, look at this. Oh, the crease. My Rolly boys are gonna get in on top. I think we should be able to smash this fight like this. Those things are super strong, by the way. The things he has in the back. I always call them the Asmodans because they look like Asmodan in Heroes, where they just like... They throw big balls. They're very strong. I guess I just absolutely dominated him with that surround. This faction looks the strongest to me, by the way. But I think most people say Infernal is the strongest, so I would imagine I'm wrong about that. Okay, let's see. We gotta look at the icons again. Deadly melee creature. Sky Hunter. Ooh! Wait, is that a... Oh. That's actually 8 units. Oh, that is not bad. Okay. Let's see. It doesn't look... Does it look like there's 8 units inside? It looks like there's 4 units inside, but there's 8. Okay. That's a little UI change that they have to make. Now, this guy was... wait, can I not hotkey this? Yeah, I can. This guy was camping pretty hard. So I would imagine that I can't attack at the front until he reacts to the drop. Drop button is X. Let's keep that in mind for now. Gonna go in here. Can I, Oh yeah, it does do that. Okay, yeah, look at this. Wow. Yo, that is a really cool reward that you can get, guys. That is much cooler than like the straight up killer units, right? Like it's a really cool reward. Let's see. I'm gonna use my crease. These things do splash damage and they're fast to attack the workers. Force him to run away. Yeah, it is gonna be very painful for him. Sometimes my selection... I don't know if you... Yeah, sometimes my selection bugs. I don't do anything. I try to A-move, but my selection gets stuck. I'm not quite sure what that is. There's definitely a little bit of a... Either there's a hotkey that's annoying, or it kind of feels like a little bug to me with selection. I'm not quite sure what it is exactly, but... It seems like if I press a hotkey, it enables something for me by default, like I'm using some kind of ability or something. Okay. No GG is called, and we managed to win. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this still is just by far my least favorite faction. Like, it's just... It's not like it's uncool, it is just too weird. Like, it's not intuitive at all, it doesn't make sense. The power doesn't say what it does exactly. I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. I imagine stuff builds. It's not supply. I imagine stuff either doesn't build or it builds slowly. I would like to know which one it is. Having to fly your main bases to the next base as soon as this is saturated feels a bit weird. Like, I just kind of fly around with my CCs all the time. Yeah, I mean, the idea of them wanting to make a different faction is cool. I respect it. So far, it is still definitely not it for me. But alright, that's going to be it for the Stormgate 1v1 review. I think I'm the most impressed with Infernals. First of all, they look the coolest, and it also feels like you tech up a little more, which is great. The Vanguard... It's... Oh, I like how that continues, even though the game is over. The Vanguard has a cool split of units, but it does feel a little bland. It's kind of like Bio and Mech from Terran, but not as cool. That's kind of what it feels like to me. I feel like there could be some more spice in there. And this faction, yeah, it has been reworked entirely. It still has to be reworked entirely because it's just crazy. I do think the sound is way, way better than before. The looks are better. There are some bugs here and there, it seems like, with the hotkeys and... Yeah, overall, I would say they improved. I don't know what number I would give it. If the last time it was a 4 out of 10, let's say a 3 out of 10, then right now I would say it is probably a 5.5 or a 6. Definitely a big improvement. It is currently not good enough to pull me away from my favorite RTS games, but they're definitely getting there, maybe in a couple more patches. Maybe after the complete rework of Celestials, I can see it happen. Anyway, that's my conclusion. Let me know what you guys think, because I'm very, very curious. Last time, the reception was terrible. This time, it might be different. Let me know in the comments, and if not, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all for the next one. Adios.